What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the FloGrappling Show, aka the worst show on the internet. And today is a very special day. The official 2025 FloGrappling Awards is going down right now. As always, I'm Trey Robinson. We got Joey Gilps right there, Big Uncle Reed right there, and we're calling in to this show from an undisclosed location in the office. You know,
every week we're going to do it somewhere new.
Yeah, should we? A traveling podcast? Well, they had this set built over there, but we weren't allowed to use that one because we might disturb people in the office. So we moved this 20 feet west, and now we're not going to disturb anybody over here. So we're all safe and sound over in our little corner.
We should do it at the Alamo.
No one would forget that episode.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of it always moving around. Never be known.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right.
Stay a step ahead.
Maybe we'll keep moving it around. But on today's show, we're going to dive into the winners of the FloGrappling Awards, Reed, tell us, what does it mean to be a FloGrappling Award winner, huh?
Well, it's 2026, Trey. It is officially 2026, and that means 2025 is behind us. It's in the rearview mirror. Everything that happened in 2025 is now just a distant memory, and we're on to 2026, the Great Plains of 2026 that are ahead of us.
The Great Plains of North America. You used to be able to pay a guy to stomp you on the head with your horse.
I don't know about that,
yeah.
but
It's a Viagra Boys song,
yeah.
But
there you go. Here's definitely something that shows how much this meant this year. 3 times the number of votes compared to what we had in 2024.
So thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Sure. These are fan-decided votes, fan-decided awards. It's been up on our Instagram, on all our sites, social medias, trying to get as many people to vote as possible. You guys responded. You guys made your voices heard. And today we're finding out the winners. Super exciting. And so clearly you saw the athletes posting a bunch about it. It meant a lot to them to be able to be recognized as somebody who has not just had a great year, but had the year, had a year that's going to be remembered as standing that much ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, you're quick to forget 2025, Reed. It sounds like with that little diatribe you were going on. But this is our last day of talking 2025, and then we're putting it behind us, and it's just all gas, no brakes going into 2026. But we got to recap final time.
I was going to say, but it behooves us to kind of take a moment here on January 5th to just reflect on the incredible accomplishments, the incredible jiu-jitsu that we saw in 2025 before we really lock in and take 2026 by storm here. ADCC, plenty of crazy stuff going to go down. So
yeah. Joe, what was the most voted for category?
Most voted for category was Juvenile of the Year. We're coming in with almost double the number of votes as the next category.
Okay,
People absolutely showed up. And then I think it was Breakthrough was also super, super high on that list.
Okay, well, let's kick it off. Let's get into some of the winners, and let's kick it off with those 2 categories. First, let's talk about the 2025 Breakthrough Grappler of the Year. Just to, I guess, give people some context, Joe, what does it really mean to be a Breakthrough Grappler? How do you get the Breakthrough Grappler Award?
Absolutely. This is one of my favorite awards that we give out every year, looking back and trying to figure out who is someone who has broken out on the scene, who is somebody who went from an unknown to a known, somebody who put in the performances that made them an overnight, one of those 10-year overnight successes like we hear about, right? And there was a lot of people that made this award really great. A lot of people who received a ton of votes. Nolan Stewart was on that list. Declan Moody was on that list. I don't want to give anything away, but this, was a super stacked category this year with everybody receiving a high number of votes.
Yeah, and so I guess without further ado, the votes are in, and the 2025 Breakthrough Grappler of the Year is Sarah Galvao. What a year from Sarah Galvao. I think obviously a lot of people knew she was probably one of the favorites to win this one. But yeah, people absolutely came through in droves to vote for Sarah Galvao for Breakthrough Grappler of the Year. So congratulations to her. What a great just kickstart to her black belt career the later half of this year has been. So
absolutely. Sarah had an incredible year. And, just to put in perspective, she got so many votes as well. She was top 2 in, I think, 3 different categories, including a Grappler of the Year award that we're going to talk about later and a Match of the Year award that we're going to talk about later. She had an incredible breakthrough year. She's looking in 2026 to do a super grand slam, become the first woman to do it, become the youngest person to ever do it, which would be absolutely incredible. But in terms of her breakout year, just to think about where she was a year ago and all the ups and the downs that we've tracked with her over the years. I mean, you guys went to her wedding this year. You know what I mean? It was a
Yeah,
pretty
true.
crazy year in
Dude,
2025
it's
for
so
Sarah.
crazy to think like how much kind of has been packed into this year, you know, and even because we've been following Sarah for a long time, but she wasn't really into jiu-jitsu. She wasn't really, you know, taking it seriously. She wasn't really trying to make it her thing, you know, and then all of a sudden, you know, she kind of really rededicates to the sport and just has one of the most incredible years, and she's clearly a fan favorite. I think that's one of the biggest parts about Sarah Galval. Yes, she's got great jiu-jitsu, but she's just got such a great way to connect with the fans and everything like that, and has a great team behind her there, and the Dream Team, and they did some great accomplishments as well. So yeah, I think very, very well deserved for Sarah Galval. You know, I love that this is kind of like a mixed men and women category, and it kind of just goes to show how much the women are really showing up here in the sport of jiu-jitsu here in 2025. For someone like Sarah Galval can beat out the Declan Moody's and the Pavel Jaworskis and stuff like that.
For sure. I think one of the craziest things, kind of like what you mentioned, is that like we have obviously known of and followed Sarah for a very long time, obviously because she's, you know, Andre's daughter, and oh look, it's Andre's daughter over there like playing around on the medicine ball, stuff like that. But like her actual career of her saying like I'm gonna go all in on this is very short. Like was it like 2023, I think, whenever I feel like I was actually like watching and filming Sarah like going for like purple belt Brasileiros or whatever it was, you know. Like I feel like it was 2023 when it was like really she was
Makes
like
sense.
actually going all in. So that was just like 2 years now, and not only is she like one of the best athletes in the sport, she wins the crown, rookie year of black belt, just gets her black belt in June or whatever, you know, already goes on to win IBJJF's biggest invite-only event, wins that, and now she still has her rookie year of black belt ahead of her for the IBJJF gi season. So, I mean, pretty incredible whenever you start thinking about, like, the timelines of her career and everything. So, shout out Sarah Galval, 2025 Breakthrough Grappler of the Year.
Do you guys have like one moment from her year that kind of stands out for you guys? I have one that I could put out there for me, the match at Pans with Helena. And just the way the entire auditorium gymnasium like stopped and paid attention to this brown belt absolute match for the women that never happens. You know what I mean? That division a lot of times can kind of come and go without crazy fanfare, but this felt like the biggest match of the entire tournament. And I felt like it was like the writing of another chapter of a long rivalry that I hope we continue to see.
Yeah, I think number one moment for me would be at her wedding whenever her and Andre did a synchronized, you know, perfectly choreographed father-daughter dance. And I was just like, wow, what an incredible thing that I'm here witnessing that. So I know it's not a jiu-jitsu one, but that was like a wild
that
thing.
counts too.
Yeah.
Yeah, day one of CGI, I think, really cemented Sarah Galval as kind of like a star in the sport. Like I said, we've talked about this before, but, you know, a lot of chatter, a lot of drama, just kind of talking about day one of CGI, and it seemed like Sarah really won kind of that day one of CGI. Everybody was talking about her, but we also had some good times with her out in Japan and stuff like that as well. So, yeah, it's been a great year for Sarah Galval. So congratulations to her. 2025 Breakthrough Grappler of the Year. I have a good feeling that 2026 is going to be a huge year for her as well.
Definitely. And so now moving on to our most voted category, like Joe mentioned earlier, the 2025 Juvenile of the Year. It was definitely cool to see, like, FloGrappling has done this award before, but then we brought it back, and it's obviously cool to see, you know, how much this award kind of blew up and how many people did vote on and stuff. I was a little like, I don't know, are we really going into the juvenile thing? It's like, yeah, can't really deny that the juvenile aspect of the sport is one of the biggest parts right now. It's kind of blowing up, whether it be in IBJJF circuits or ADCC, so just kind of getting bigger and bigger. And so it was cool to see this one, but definitely a good category overall, right?
Definitely. There was a lot of people that could have been on this list and would have gotten a lot of votes if we did put them on this list. Don't need to like get into naming names, but like this was a category that easily could have turned into like 10 people pretty quickly because there's just so much incredible stuff happening at the youth level. So many people who are doing really well that to narrow it down to just 6 was really, really difficult. To add somebody in would have meant taking somebody away. But yeah, just so many people that have been so impressive to us, including whatever we found for the winner.
Yeah, so I guess just without further ado, the 2025 Juvenile Grappler of the Year is Icaro Moreno.
Legend.
Who else could it be
Legend.
besides Icaro, you know? Icaro, this dude must have enacted every person who's ever thought about AOJ to vote on him. I mean, just, like this dude was not, and I saw him playing nice in the comments.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, my boy JP Tran deserves it. I know a lot of people said we missed out on JP Tran. Sorry,
JP Tran, Isaac Lima.
Yeah,
there was a bit bunch.
But Icaro knew what he was doing. He was like, well, since JP's not in there, vote for your boy.
Well, you're here, guys. Yeah.
Icaro's obviously one of the best juveniles out there in the sport, so glad for him to win it. What did you think about Icaro's year this year, Joe?
Crazy good year for Icaro. Icaro became the first kid to win on a WNO, which was definitely super cool. He is the youngest male to win. I don't know him versus Jocelyn, what the age is. He's younger than Jocelyn, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
So the youngest person to win on WNO, done it twice. Crazy cool. 4-time Kids Pan champion. Really, really cool. I know he likes being able to put up the 4 like his Professor Guy.
Yeah.
Put up the 4 for his 4 world titles. Yeah, I mean, Icaro is everybody has super high hopes for him and what he's going to be able to accomplish in the sport. He's got the goal of becoming a lightweight black belt world champion. We'll see. Icaro, Congratulations. What a great year.
Yeah, obviously, it's like with anyone in this category, they have so much of a career ahead of them, They're going to be someone to watch for, who knows how long, 20, 30 years, So pretty cool for Icaro to get that accolade early on, and excited to see what he keeps doing, but also what everyone else in the category does.
Yeah, and I just want to say about Icaro, I think there's a lot of great representatives of jiu-jitsu there in that juvenile nominee list, but really when you think about kind of someone who is just like the picture perfect kind of role model for children, and he's only 10 years old.
The prototype.
Yeah, the prototype. But I think that's one of the things that's a little underrated about Icaro is that, yes, he has like kind of incredible jiu-jitsu and he's super fun to watch and explosive guy, but also is just one of the best representatives out there of the sport, no matter what the age is. He's a professional. He's a guy who genuinely loves the sport and is trying to kind of like,
be a pro.
Yeah, be a pro. Just make sure that the world knows about jiu-jitsu and the world knows that good things are happening over here. I just wanted to give a shout out to Icaro for just not only doing it on the mats, but kind of taking care of business off the mats as well. We could all strive to be a little bit more like Icaro Moreno, I think.
For sure. All right, let's keep it moving. You guys want to do match of the year next or submission?
Let's do match of the year.
Match of the year, let's do it.
Okay. All right, match of the year. What does it take to be a match of the year nominee, Reed? What are you looking for out there in the mean streets of the jiu-jitsu world when you're looking for a match of the year?
Yeah, obviously you got to have some fun scrambles, and it doesn't have to end in submission or anything like that. I think you just have to kind of seek fun scrambles, a back and forth match. But beyond that, I think that the stakes are important. Having the moment be important. It'd be a big moment. It'd be a lot of things on the line. I think there's a lot of different kind of criteria for match of the year. But I think probably number one has got to be entertainment. It's got to be a fun jiu-jitsu match that you can send to your buddies who don't do jiu-jitsu or anything like that. This is my personal criteria, by the way. I'm sure maybe you have all your own personal criteria, but that's what I'm looking for. Just a fun, entertaining match that I can send to anybody and say, hey, this is pretty sick. You got to watch this.
Yeah, I love a good back and forth. Maybe a turning of the tides at some point in a match, something like that. But this year we obviously had a lot of great nominees. But just to get right into the winner here, the 2025 match of the year is Adam Wardzinski versus Roberto Jimenez at the IBJJF Pan Championship. You were out there for this one, right, Joe? You remember this one? Or was it just Slack?
Yeah, no, I was there. Me and Slack were both there. And, this was an incredible fight. Adam was still keeping his Grand Slam hopes alive, right, trying to become the first European male to win an IBJJF Grand Slam. And he had gone through so much of it, but then Roberto was looking like a firecracker coming off of a crazy good submission win on WNO and getting it done in the gi and beating people who were much bigger than him. He was in the absolute finals too. And now here he is facing Adam, and they went back and forth. Both guys were really able to show the best parts of their jiu-jitsu and show why they're two of the biggest fan favorites that we've had over the last 10 years in FloGrappling's era. Adam and Roberto are two of the biggest, most popular guys there. It's because of the style, and if you want to see their style at its best against a super tough guy, you can put on this match and see it from both guys. Just a really incredible match that really pushed both guys to their limit.
Yeah, I think for me, one thing that makes this match kind of so awesome is partly kind of what you were talking about, like the stakes and everything. You know, there's got to be some stakes at play.
Some context.
Yeah. And so for Adam, this is him, you know, still on his run at kind of becoming the first European to Grand Slam, you know, but also just like Adam was just riding this crazy wave of momentum where he kind of seemed unstoppable since winning the world championship and just kind of kept going and going. And it was like, oh, he teased retirement after winning the first worlds, but then now it's like, you know, this dude can't stop. So he's just going to keep going until he finally does. Then he meets Roberto. And Roberto kind of immediately looks like he might have solved the butterfly problem, you know? It's like no one had really been solving the butterfly problem until Roberto went up against him, and it was like, oh, shoot, actually, does he know something? Has he found like a little chink in Adam's armor? Is he going to be able to like navigate this and put a stop to all of this? And ultimately, it was Adam who ended up coming back out on top of this. But I thought that aspect of where it was like in live time, it was trying to figure out like, oh, wow, did Roberto actually figure out how to like kind of defeat Adam's A game, and made it for a super interesting, fun match. But definitely two dope dudes, you know, two great representatives of the sport. So glad that both of these guys could get this award here.
Yeah. Like Joe was saying, I like that it's kind of like these two guys who have really been instrumental in the kind of like last 10 years of jiu-jitsu and when FloGrappling's been here. You know, Roberto, of course, as a colored belt all those times, and then Adam's been a black belt now for a long time, but has become a big star. So I think it's apropos. You know, it takes two to tango. Of course, you know, Adam ended up winning the match, but you couldn't have done it without, you know, the kind of furious pace and relentless attacks that Roberto has. So that, you know, I think just goes to show that it really does kind of take two to tango. But yeah, I'm a little surprised though, to be honest. Like that
a gi match.
Right.
Cool.
In a world of no gi, that the gi is dead and that the no gi is the thing. In which, you know, I'm not necessarily like disagreeing with that take, to be honest. But to see that, you know, the fans went out and voted for a gi match, you know, in 2025 to be the match of the year, I'm definitely like a little surprised by that. But I just think, you know, it goes to show that Roberto and Adam are big stars. There was big stakes at Pans. You know, it genuinely is a fun match, and there might not have been a funner match of the year, but still, color me a little surprised. I don't know what you guys think.
No, I mean, I definitely think it's interesting for a gi match to win. You know, I think obviously now with CJI filling like the downtime of ADCC years, I feel like there's a little bit of like a cycle, you know, where it's like every non-ADCC year, there's kind of like a much higher chance that a gi match kind of squeaks into whether it be nominated or winning. Probably still not as likely, but then ADCC years, it probably gets dominated by ADCC matches and stuff. But yeah, definitely cool to see a gi match get the win, you know. Gi's not dead, I guess, if you ask Adam.
I guess so.
I tried. He posted a video of him wrestling with Renato Canuto, and I tried to slide in there and did a little like, oh, Adam in ADCC 2026. And he said, I see myself more at ACDC 2026.
Well, he definitely sees himself. Yeah.
I was like, all right.
It's so funny that Adam genuinely is like the most like high energy Polish guy. Like to them, he's like basically like a clown. You know what I mean? In terms of like joking around and like all this stuff. Like you talk to any other Polish person and they're so far away from that, and he just like kind of jokes around like a normal person. By scale, he's basically like Steve-O or something. You know what I mean? Just like a completely ridiculous persona for them.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, but congratulations to both of them for taking home match of the year. So
Can we take a second to just appreciate Roberto real quick?
Yeah,
Roberto did have a crazy year. Didn't end up getting a nomination for Grappler of the Year. Maybe that was a miss on our part, but just had an awesome year full of great performances. You know, so many memorable moments and so many times where he just put all of himself out there on the mat for the fans. Really appreciate Roberto. One of the best in the world.
Yeah, man.
Can't wait to have him back.
Jiu-jitsu is better with Roberto Jimenez in it. We were we you know, the sport wouldn't be where it is today, I don't think, without Roberto. You know, just one of the most exciting, electric, authentic grapplers that the sport has ever seen. You know, he's done the damn thing for a long time now, and yeah, I just can't say enough good things about Roberto. He's really been, like I said earlier, instrumental in the kind of development and where FloGrappling is right now. We've followed his journey through this whole time. So, yeah, incredible year from Roberto as well.
Definitely. But to keep it moving along, let's go into now our 2025 submission of the year. You know, I know you guys like them high flying. You like a quick, flashy one, you know. But, you know, sometimes I like one where the guy kind of, you know, he stays true to the sub. He keeps going for it over and over, you know, and like they're turning every way. They're trying to get out, but they just keep, you know, layering on relentlessly. That's the type of submission I like. What kind of stuff are you guys looking for in sub of the year?
I like a highly tactical checkmate style submission, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
You know, something where, you know, they go a little back and forth, but it kind of, you know, progresses through until it just finally gets to a place where a guy has no choice. He has to tap. Mm-hmm. You know, it might not be as much of a kill. It might not be as dynamic, but it's a little bit more satisfying in my opinion.
And I know you kind of heard of submissions and never really seen one firsthand, but it's like whenever you get somebody and they have to tap.
Yeah, no, I like when they just grab them by the neck and choke them.
Yeah,
that is pretty sweet too. That is pretty sweet too.
Nice. All right, so for the 2025 submission of the year, it's gonna be Mika Galval's armbar at BJJ Stars 15 against Roberto Jimenez. So a little bit of a bummer there for Roberto. Like we said, all the nice stuff about Roberto.
Takes two to tango, you know.
But he is a guy that allows there to be incredible things.
He's a gunslinger.
And, you know, he was also nominated for this category. I very much think, you know, the votes could have went for him submitting Elder Cruz, but it ended up being Mika's armbar against Roberto at BJJ Stars 15, the final of that Grand Prix. And I mean, this submission is just nuts. When you watch it back, like how long kind of Mika is on the sub and Roberto just keeps like escaping enough and buying time, but like Mika's just able to like layer on top of that like more and more deep attacks and basically on the same armbar, but like just never lets Roberto get fully out of it, finally able to submit it. So this was a sick one. The atmosphere was absolutely electric there. I was lucky enough to be there for that one. Was this? Yeah, this is the one I was there for.
You were at
this one was pretty incredible. You know, BJ Star is always in an electric environment, and so I thought this was a sick one. But
yeah, I think this is pretty kind of
worthy.
Yeah. This makes sense to me as the submission of the year. You know, I feel like we spent a lot of time taking a look at this submission, breaking it down, and just kind of rewatching it over the years because it happened kind of like July-ish, maybe.
Yeah, like July.
Kind of midway through the year. We hadn't seen a whole lot of Mika yet, you know, so it was great to see Mika in kind of a tournament setting at BJJ Stars, especially with big names like Roberto in there and everything like that, Elijah. I mean, just a relentless submission that Mika, you know, you think he's going to get 3 or 4 times. Roberto, you know, has incredible defense, but Mika able to solve that puzzle, you know, at the very, very end. And one of the best Mika performances we got to see in 2025 as well. You know, we didn't see a whole bunch of Mika, but we did get to see one of the greatest submissions of the year from him. So.
For sure.
Absolutely, yeah. Like you said, we've done some breakdown stuff on it. I did a breakdown video of this armbar specifically. You can find that on our YouTube. Congratulations to Mika. We're looking forward to a great 2026. Coming back to defend his ADCC title. Who knows if we'll see him in the gi. That would be incredible if we could. WNO, obviously, we can't wait to have him back. Look forward to a big year for Mika Galval.
To be honest, I was partial to Biznaga's
counter
lock. To be honest, but 2 gi match.
A little too much, huh?
Let's not
get greedy. Let's not get greedy.
No, I like the Kyle lock too, but I also just think like listening to Kyle go nuts during it.
Like, it's like a special
added
moment.
more to it, you know. But all right, so shout out Mika, sub of the year, and now we just have our final 2 categories left. We got male and female grapplers of the year. Let's kick it off with the 2025 female grappler of the year. You know, obviously this is a
drum roll.
We can do a drum roll. This is someone who kind of is helping elevate the sport, pushing things forward. And the 2025 female grappler of the year is gonna be Helena Cravar.
Who else could it be?
Who else?
What a great year. Yeah.
100%. You want to talk some about the year she's had, Joe?
Sure. Awesome year from Helena, who was able to win major championships in every competition that she was a part of. She won a gi world championship at brown belt, got her black belt, won the CJI $100,000 championship, the highest paid women's tournament of all time. That was incredible. Finished her year with an all submissions run through the No-Gi World Championships, won her first black belt No-Gi World Championship. It was, just an incredible year from an 18-year-old talent, somebody who has already established themselves as the #1 pound-for-pound youngest ranked, #1 pound-for-pound athlete in FloGrappling history. Helena, what a 2025. This is a really historic year from somebody so young, somebody so talented, somebody who's, like you said, helping to push things forward. Can't wait to see what's coming for her in 2026. We're going to see Helena try to take her next crack at the one tournament that's kind of eluded her to this point, which is ADCC Worlds. got a silver last time, coming back for that gold medal this time.
Yeah, that's a big storyline. And can't say enough great things about Helena Cravar. I think for me it was really CJI, too. I think that just felt like such a big deal, and it was so many eyes on that, and we were just buzzing about it when it was happening and everything like that. It ended up kind of stealing the show. And even now, as we are a couple months removed, and there was so much drama that happened between B Team and New Wave and everything that happened there and stuff like that. But it still feels like, to me, the biggest storyline coming out of that is Helena. Even, just come some months removed for it, where a lot of that drama has kind of dissipated and just kind of gone to the wayside. I feel like the thing that stands the test of time is that Helena won $100,000, beat Sarah Galval via submission in the finals there, beat Adele earlier. So
that's like the thing we learned.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
that's really what we tangibly took away from the event, I feel like. And it just really, I think we've been high on Helena for a long, long time. But, she is the girl to beat now.
For sure. Incredible 2025 from Helena, and I think 2026
won a
WNO
WNO championship. Also got to put that out there. Yeah.
WNO championship, and defended it.
It.
So incredible year from her. I think 2026 is probably going to even be more electric from Helena, to be honest. And I will also say, breakthrough grappler of the year, Sarah Galval, probably going to have
this was actually
coming for a crazy 202026.
This was decided by less than 1.5%. Her between Helena and second place, which was Sarah. I feel like we could say that. It was a very, very close vote there between the two that separated them. Like we said earlier, this is a rivalry that's just kind of budding and brewing now that they're both black belts. And definitely haven't seen the end of it. Can't imagine that we've seen the end of it. This could be the kind of thing where they meet like 2 or 3 more times. This could be the kind of thing where they meet like 10 or 12 more times. You know what I mean? They're just so talented that when they get in a bracket, it seems like the only person who's really going to beat the other one is the other one, you know? So I can't wait.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we got one category left, the 2025 Male Grappler of the Year. Is there anything you want to say before we dive into this one? Oh, we're boring Reed. This dude's yawning on the freaking awards show. What the heck? But
calling me out.
All right.
We're going to cut that part.
Yeah,
so this
no, go ahead.
No. This is because there's a change in your habits for the podcast. You're suddenly down.
True.
Nah, Reed's always been a yawner on the podcast. Normally we hide it.
He's calling me out.
Are you or are you not a podcast yawn type of guy?
I don't have any specific.
Turn the lights up. Turn the lights up.
What were you doing Saturday?
I went to the movies.
Okay. All right. So without further ado, the 2025 Male Grappler of the Year is... who else could it be?
Gotta be our boy.
Besides...
It's your boy.
Adam Wardzinski.
Adam Wardzinski.
Obviously an insane 2025. Just an electric guy. I'm honestly stoked that Adam ended up winning this one. He's kind of,
He was super close last year, too.
Yeah, and now he's like... he's kind of retired, even though no jiu-jitsu guy is ever fully retired. So it's like, how many more years is Adam going to have a shot at becoming the Male Grappler of the Year? And so I'm stoked that, he was able to get that title kind of here whenever, who knows how much more Adam we're going to see in the future. But Adam Wardzinski, 2025 Male Grappler of the Year. Now we got some dudes making lattes behind us here. But, sick. But
Adam had an incredible year. And I think you said it last time there or whatever, that we were tuning in to watch Adam Wardzinski in 2025. Pans, Euros, Brasileiros, Worlds. When it came down to it, I was there to watch Adam Wardzinski kind of do his thing this year. So incredible. He did his thing. He ended up kind of losing there at the end, to Nolan Stewart. But he won Euros, Pans, Brasileiros, Worlds.
John Cena tapped out in his last match, too.
True. There you go. That is a good analogy there.
Still the greatest. Yeah. Adam had won a 2025, became the first European to ever Grand Slam, and then won his second world title on top of that. I believe it's a Hall of Fame-worthy career. Time will tell, but just an incredible campaign from Adam, undefeated up through up to the finals of the Crown. There, beat all the toughest guys, beat everybody you could put in front of him. Had crazy matches, had crazy submissions, showed the ability to come back. Adam's just somebody who has delivered on legendary moments time and time again. That if this truly was a way for him to go out, I think it's proper that he goes out with the Grappler of the Year award. I know that pound for pound number one is something he was chasing earlier in the year. He wasn't able to accomplish that, but I hope that this is something that lets him know that, no, you were the man, you were number one, we all know it. and we're super supportive of him.
And luckily, we were following Adam through all this year as well. We were out in Lisbon for his Euros run. We were out in Pans and Brasileiros. We went and visited him in Poland. Went down to Brazil and hung out with him. Went to Japan and hung out with him. So we got a great Adam Wardzinski movie on the way here. So definitely, guys, keep an eye out for that. That's coming in 2026 as well. Just kind of the incredible year that Adam Wardzinski had and put himself on the map. So
yeah, I mean, I'm stoked to watch that one. I helped film a lot of it, but I'm still like, damn, dude, I kind of want to watch this. It's gonna be sick.
It's gonna be epic.
So shout out Adam. Pretty stoked for him. Stoked for everybody who took home a FloGrappling Award this year. Obviously it's cool to recognize everyone who's kind of helping grow the sport, helping propel the sport, getting more people watching and everything. So yeah, good crop of award winners this year. You guys have any closing thoughts? Anything you want to say?
Let us know if we got it right, if we got it wrong, if you got some better ideas, and we'll try to incorporate them in 2026. Let's go.
Yeah, true. Sound off in the comments what we did right, what we did wrong, and also tell us what location we should film from next.
Your New Year's resolution?
Yeah, New Year's resolutions. But
drop an FMK in the comments. Let us know.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning into this episode. It was nice chatting with everybody here at this undisclosed location. We'll be coming to you live from a new one next week. Not sure where yet, but thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next episode.